Good afternoon to you all. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this penultimate press conference of the penultimate day of IFFI 2015. On behalf of Press Information Bureau, I extend a very hearty welcome to all of our media friends and to our distinguished guests for the day, for this afternoon. So, first of all, we have with us Mr. Legal Sumi. Hello. He hails from Taiwan, and he has entered the creative profession with his 2012 documentary film Wish of the Ocean Rise, which is a story of the restoration of terraced paddy cultivation in Hualien County of Taiwan. And I should mention that he is accompanied by his wife, Huang Ying Shu. Very hearty welcome to you as well. And he is Mr. Legal Sumi is here today with us for his film Wawa No Sidal Panay, right? I hope the pronunciation is correct. Yes. In fact, I'm sorry. You can translate.
他说我说的话是不清楚，但是你一点可以明白。
So the film name translates as Children of the Sun, which has been co-directed by him along with Cheng Yu Chi.
他说那个的你的电影的印度那个英文名是 Cinema of the World， 这个是名称印度的。
The film, you would be delighted to know that the film effortlessly scooped the Audience Choice Award at the Taipei Film Festival, and it has also been distinguished to be the opening film at the Singapore International Film Festival, which kicked off just 3 days back. And the film features in the Cinema of the World section at IFFI 2015.
他也说你的这个电影也是漂亮，也是有名，也去他们很多人看了这个事，也是很多情况这个是他说的。
So once again, a very hearty welcome to you as well as to you. Okay. Now we have with us director Laurent Lavier, right?
La Rivière.
I'm sorry, Laurent Lavier.
Okay.
Yeah. He is an award-winning writer and director from France. He has directed 6 short films which have won various awards and have been screened at various film festivals. And he has filmed for theatre and dance shows as well. He is here today for his film I Am a Soldier, which is his first feature film, which is being screened at IFFI in the Cinema of the World category. And it is interesting, it's good to know that the film has just been screened at this year's Cairo International Film Festival. Very hearty welcome to you, sir. We also have with us Mr. David Constantin. He is a Mauritian producer and filmmaker. His films speak about changes in modern society and their impact on personal relations. He has directed and produced several short films and documentaries. For example, to name one, Made in Mauritius is a short film about globalization and from the point of view of an old laborer in Mauritius. He is with us today for his 2014 film Sugarcane Shadows, which has featured in this year's Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. The film is in the segment First Cut, a new category which, as you would be aware, has been introduced at IFFI to recognize young and fresh talent. Thank you. Talent is always fresh, sir. So very happy to have you as well. And next, it's my pleasure to welcome Miss Julia Vargas. Hello, ma'am. She is someone who wears many hats. She has been a photographer, a media educationist, and a scriptwriter, and of course, director as well. And for her contributions, she received a Bolivian Lifetime Achievement Award in 2005. She has participated in many national and international film festivals. Her work includes short films, documentaries, and fiction feature films in her capacity as writer-director. and she is with us today for her film Sealed Cargo, which features in the international competition segment. So I would like to take this opportunity to extend best wishes from all of us.
Thank you. It's the world premiere of my film, so.
I'm sorry?
This is the first festival. It's the world premiere of the film.
It's very nice to know that as well. Okay. And next, it's my privilege to introduce Director Michael Clatty. Hello, sir. Yes. He's a German theater and film director as well as a screenwriter. He's a highly experienced theater professional. He is known for his highly innovative work as acting director at the Theater Aachen in Germany. He has won many awards, such as the Special Award for Best Literary Adaptation at Baden-Baden TV Film Festival for his screenplay for the film Casimir and Caroline. He is a DP for his first full-length feature film, Soulness, which features in the first cut section of IFFI 2015. Very hearty welcome to you, sir. Thank you. And before I forget, we have with us his we have with us his wife, Beatrice Babin. Hello, ma'am. Yeah, she's also the editor of the film. So a very hearty welcome to you as well. I'm sorry, there was some confusion. And last but not the least, we have with us Sir Ramses Benjamia Torres. Hello, sir. He is an art director and actor hailing from Colombia.
Estoy entendiendo, pero cuando vaya a hablar es justamente eso exactamente. I understand.
We are going to follow the point. So he is known for his work in films such as Karen Cries on the Bus, Minuto 200, and of course for his latest work in Embrace of the Serpent, for which he is here today at IFFI. The film Embrace of the Serpent features in the international competition section at IFFI 2015. It has won the Art Cinema Award fortnight section at the 2015 Cannes Film Festival and was selected as a Thanks. With these few words, I would like to now request our guests to please share their few thoughts about their film and anything else they would like to share with our media friends and others. So let us start with Legal Sumi.
他说，请你介绍一下你的电影的。
Hello. Chinese. OK. 我的电影就是拍一个村庄里面的故事。
村庄的我不知道。农村的。His story is basically of the village.
然后农村就是本来是很美丽的地方。
His story is also basically from the village as well as from his native to the just a height one.
对，然后有很多后来盖了很多饭店，然后盖了很多酒馆的。
And also the people who are staying in this village, who belongs to other place and who came here to stay as a native.
然后农村里面的一位妈妈，她为了保护自己家里面的地，对。
And in the family also, the all members like mother, father, all these things are just they are staying.
就对抗那个那些饭店那些有钱的老板。
And he is also just taking care as a father of all the whole members as his food and the living areas.
对这个故事是改编自真人真事这样。
And the real situation is every time day by day it's changing.
对，里面那位母亲，那位妈妈就是我妈妈这样。对。
Inside his mother is also there who has acted.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you for sharing that with the audience. Now, I would request Lahivia to kindly share your.
My movie is I Am a Soldier, but it's not about war. The beginning of the start of the script is about shame. A young woman who didn't succeed to make her life in Paris is obliged to go back in the north of France, and she has to work with her uncle, which has a kennel, with the dogs, and then she realized that her uncle is involved in a traffic of dogs, which is a very important problem in Europe that people doesn't know about it. And they took dogs from East country that goes to Belgium. They make false vaccination, and then they sold it quickly in France. And then she gets involved in the traffic, and then she has a new place in the society. She learns money, and but it's about moral question. What can we do? How far can we go to have a place in the society? And at the moment, she realized that she's involved in horrible things. So she wants to stop, but her uncle doesn't want. So it's a fight between the mafia, kind of mafia, and her wishes. So I think it's about dogs traffic, but I think it's like a kind of allegory of contemporary violence.
Thank you. Now, may I request David Constantine?
Hi, hello. My film is called Sugarcane Shadows. It's a film from Mauritius. First of all, I must say I'm very pleased to be here because it's Mauritius is like a little sister to India, and it's the first screening here of this film in India, and most probably I think it's the first screening of a Mauritian film ever in India. So it's a very special moment for me. And the film is about the closing down of a sugar mill, because in Mauritius it's based on what's happening since 6 or 7 years in Mauritius. It is the price of the sugar has gone down on the international market, and the mills are closing down and centralizing. So it's the story of a group of former workers. They are all in their mid-50s, and the sugar mill where they used to work is closing down, and it's about how they cope with this, and more generally, it's about how to cope with these big liberalization and globalization concepts when you are just a worker at the end of the other end of the chain, and the film it's not based on one true story, but it's based on many testimonies that we had here and there in Mauritius about workers. But it also speaks a universal thing about the changing world, about the end of the economic model we have all known, and we are going through something else now, and we don't know really where all this is going. And it's the first film in Mauritius, first Mauritian film since 12 years, I think. So when we did it from scratch with non-actors, technicians with local technicians with very little experience. So we wanted the film to also be a kind of landmark for starting something in Mauritius around cinema. So it's also a project where around besides the film itself, we put together a lot of workshops for young people, young technicians, local technicians. We brought 5 foreign technicians from France and the Réunion Island, and the rest of the crew was local, and we trained them, and for the actors also we trained them 1 month, so as to have something that would stay after the film. Yeah, so have a good screening. I hope to see you in the cinema after. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request Julia Vargas to kindly share your.
Well, Silk Cargo is a film mainly about the toxic waste traffic, very dark traffic that is very contemporary, even if the facts that inspired this film happened in '95 in Bolivia. So it's about the power that's behind all these traffic and the fight of the peasants and the villagers to protect their Mother Earth, as we say there, to protect the land. It's also the story of a group of people that are ordinary people that are forced into this situation and have to solve it without having any power to do that. The film was filmed in the highlands of Bolivia, 4,000 meters high. We had temperatures below almost minus 14 degrees. And we worked a lot with the people of the villages, non-actors. Mainly that.
Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would request Michael Cleche kindly share your.
Hello. My film was finished the last 2 weeks. It's very fresh, and this lovely festival is our first test for the film. The song is a very free adaptation of a play from Henrik Ibsen's The Master Builder. It's a portrait of a man in his big crisis. He's in his job. He's an architect. In fact, he was in fact, and this time over his peak. The kids are dead. The wife is from ice, and the younger people in his company. Was heißt demontieren? Was heißt demontieren? Demolish him. Just in this moment comes a beautiful girl from Norway in his life, and we are not sure, is she an angel or is she an was heißt Drache? Avenging angel. Sorry, I need to translate a little bit. She began to destroy his life, and she has a secret between Sonnes and this girl, and maybe it's very dark. And während der Held sich klar wird. Was laut? Yes, it's better. Während der Held wird sich über sich selbst klar.
Maybe it's on.
It's on?
Yeah.
It's on? Okay, fine. So Solness, while he's getting clearer about what really happened with this girl 10 years ago, he's getting clearer about his life and where his place could be.
Und bei
I
all
think
diesen,
it's a dark.
also da, und
Dark
bei all
side
diesen
too.
harten Sachen, ist es auch ein lustiger.
It's very hard stuff.
Hard-telling story, yes.
Hard-telling story. It's about abusing children too. And Solness wasn't sure because he just had a blackout. He didn't remember anything. And while this now a young lady is in his life, the memories are coming back. So he wasn't abusing her, but he was a witness, and he promised her to just get her out of this. But he never did, and she was waiting for him 10 years, and then she came back.
It's better than I can say. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I would request Art Director Ramses Benjamin Torres to kindly share that. And his wife. Mom. I'm really sorry.
I could be his mother.
my sincere apologies. Yes, translator Ms. Patricia will be translating.
Yes. Bueno, El abrazo de la serpiente es una película mágica
This is a magical sort of story.
Entre dos mundos, el de los hombres y el de las plantas.
In between two worlds of men and of plants.
Contado desde la visión inicial de dos exploradores.
It's related by
Kurt Grunberg, basado digamos en Kurt Grunberg, Theodor, y que él era un etnógrafo y botánico Evan Schultes, norteamericano.
between a botanical gentleman from North America and
Kurt Grunberg is Germany,
los nombres los pasamos, ¿no?
Listo, bueno,
Okay.
entonces,
Se
un
complica.
etnógrafo.
One is
Un etnógrafo que tiene un trato justamente con los hombres y un botánico que tiene una relación con las plantas.
enógrafo, ¿qué es? ¿Qué quiere decir?
Quien estudia las etnias, los grupos.
Okay, an ethnic
Yes.
Gentleman and an American botanist.
Yes, yes. Entonces, estos dos mundos, las plantas y las etnias, ¿cómo se dice? Bueno, comprendiste etnias, ¿cierto?
Yes, the ethnic.
Ethnic.
Yeah.
El encuentro entre estos dos universos donde hay una exploración hace que podamos descifrar un poco la relación que ha habido entre el hombre blanco y las tribus.
And this leads to a parallel discussion of relationships between people and their tribes.
Ahora, esto puesto en un mundo de aventura a través del río, que funciona como una metáfora de la vida, que funciona como una metáfora de el origen de la misma vida, el tiempo y el devenir.
And the key section will be this river, which will be the connection between the two different elements, between the men and between the races, I guess.
Y llevándonos a encontrar que el encuentro dos culturas, el hombre blanco y los grupos indígenas o étnicos, tenemos parte de culpa en ambos orillas, en ambos lugares, de no entender el mensaje entre ambas partes.
So you have the white people on one side, you have the indigenous people on the other side, and the complications that arise as a result, and how they try to reconcile their ideas or differences.
Básicamente es eso. Ahora, esta es una película que enorgullece estar en este festival cruzando un río gigantesco que es el océano y permitiendo mostrar cosas más allá de lo que se conoce como el narcotráfico, como la violencia.
And in the process, there are all sorts of other elements that come in, like narco-traffic and violence.
Yes. All right.
Thank you. Thank you. So with this, now let us open the floor for questions. Any questions for any of our guests gathered here?
I have a question.
Yeah, yes, please.
And since I was a reporter in New York, this is good. It sounds almost Garcia Marquez, surrealistic, your film. Did you take any guidance from his concept? ¿Es posible que usted recibía algo de García Márquez surrealística?
La película creo que sin digamos contar con que se ha influenciado digamos como la literatura o la naturaleza literaria de García Márquez, creo que Colombia es un país propicio para que se piensen historias de esta manera. Cuando estás en lugares que no hacen parte del centro urbano, encuentras otro país y es fácil encontrarte en lugares surrealistas todo el tiempo. O sea, el surrealismo en Colombia no se dio porque allá está todo el tiempo.
Colombia almost lends itself to the surrealistic concept because you're in the middle of the city and yet you're not there. So the Garcia Marquez influences would definitely come through in his films, and it would touch most of the cinema people.
Ciro Guerra, el director y escritor, con Jacques Toulemont, son los escritores, y principalmente Ciro había hecho una serie de viajes que los llevaron justamente a conocer un poco de la exploración de Kurt Grönberg, en parte del Orinoco, en parte de la Amazonía, y posteriormente también se va, digamos, enterando de otras expediciones y va logrando encontrar una unión entre esas dos vidas de una manera mágica y surrealista.
So the film actually covers this river where there were several expeditions and people had crossed currents and all that flows into his film.
I have a question for Lahom. Could you please explain the significance of the metaphors which you have used in I Am a Soldier? Especially, I will repeat myself. Could you please explain the significance of the metaphors that you have used in the film, especially in the context of today's French society?
I don't want to talk. I want to talk about the violence of the society, the cruelty, but I don't want to make it directly, because I think there is a lot of movies about violence that show violence, and we don't get the reality of what it is. So I decided to take a metaphor, an animal metaphor, that because animals send us to our humanity, and the distance that it's create allowed me to get more further in violence representation.
Anyone has a question for any of our guests?
It is a question to all of you. Most of you have raised the social issues like some years there is the diversion of land and is the you also the trafficking of hazardous waste, toxic waste, and some of you the tribal issues. So this raising of issues do by the films make it satisfactory for the um, for the uh, for the youth as a fraternity.
I don't get the whole question.
I mean, most of you have. It is a very common link between of you. You have raised the social issues. Satisfactory for you, or it is just a by coincident the subject is.
Yes, it is. I mean, it is a subject that worries us, and uh, when I already started making the film script, I had already a phone call from some people that were involved in this situation that I am inspired on, to tell me that the truth was not that, and then they want to speak to me about all this situation of the toxic waste that was found in Bolivia. And through all the film process, we had people trying to explain, and the idea is not to make a documentary and to explain the wastes were toxic or not were toxic. We just want to put the situation that we are living in many of our countries. We are becoming garbage countries. And so in that sense, I think there is a social repercussion, and I hope that this film, that it has not been yet in Bolivia, has not been shown, will bring this subject in light. I think it's a very important subject for us.
And like Sumi, also divergence of land is a very big issue in our country also. So it's raising such issues through your films. It's a very pertinent to society, countries like especially in Asia, where the land pool is very limited. So do you get any satisfaction to, raising this issue by raising this issue?
他的问题是，有那个农村的，你告诉了农村的人的，一个地方到另外的地方，他们改变的事情有问题来，很多问题来他们的。如果他们开始的时间，还有很多问题来，一点一点越来越问题高一点。他的问题是，你所有的电影，你准备的时间，你什么样的觉得，他们的生活是什么样的？
生活是，其实这个故事是一个台湾的一个原住民，你知道原住民吗？部落，还是你来？对，OK，对。
It's a story about the Aboriginal story in Taiwan, and the director. This is a true story, and the director saw the true he saw the village, what happened in the village, and he want to make a film to people to know about the story in the village, and the village is Taiwan has a lot of beautiful places. It belongs Aboriginal and tribe, but the government they want to took the land, and they can't live in the tribe. So it's about his story to protect their land. Yes.
Do you have anything to add?
No.
Thank you. And I have a question for Lekul Sumi. In what ways are the problems faced by traditional communities, such as the one chronicled in the film, different from the problems in other parts of the developing world?
他说你看了在政府的里面的地方的哪一个政府比较另外的地方，有他们的没有什么多问题，你们的政府有很多问题，他要问你看了什么什么问题。
我看了什么问题？我们的政府是不是？就是在台湾，就是政府对原住民比较，就是怎么讲？比较冷漠。
是的，台湾的。
在台湾对，在台湾的政府对少数民族，对是比较不关心的这样子。
我可以给台湾。
哦，这样。
In Taiwan, the government they not care about the Aboriginal tribe.
就是对，然后台湾就是他们会不断的去骗这些少数民族的土地，对。
And they don't protect the few Aboriginal, yes, they don't protect them, and people will buy their land, use a lot of money, but when they get the land, they don't let the Aboriginal to stay their own land.
对，这些的小朋友，对，都不会说自己的语言。
And the children they can't speak their own language because they need to work to city, so they will leave their hometown.
对，小朋友长大以后就会忘记自己的身份，对。
And the children that the Aboriginal children when they grow up, they will forget who are they and where is their home.
对，然后这个族群就会消失。
And they will gone. The culture will be gone.
Yeah.
Sugarcane shadow. If sugarcane shadow effect is released in the India, it will be very popular because we also have the same problem since last 2 years. Our farmers are protesting a lot.
I would
Their plight is the same.
I would love to have a release in India. If there is any distributor that would be interested, please don't hesitate to contact. Yeah, I think we showed it in like some 25 film festivals around the world, and everywhere we showed it. I think anywhere people can reconnect what's happening in the film to their own life and what's happening in the country, because I think the same thing is happening everywhere, whether developing countries or developed countries. Same thing we can talk about. I don't know, automotive industry or steel industry in etc. All these big industries are undergoing the same thing related to a change in the economy model and workforce use. What's the in fact, it's a question of what's the use of workers. And well, yes, it would be a great opportunity if we could have a release here.
Any other question, please, from anyone?
I would like to address these questions to all the directors on the dais. Very commendable group of people right now. So, but in particular, I would like to address this question to David and Julia. So, when you're making a movie on a social issue, which is regional but which has global repercussions, so why this particular choice of making it in the fictional format? And why not a documentary? This is my first question. And secondly, when you're making a movie on strong social issues, where should a filmmaker draw a line when the fictional narrative, it doesn't become activism? What should a filmmaker keep in mind so that a narrative doesn't become activism? Or maybe if you'd like the narrative to become activism.
Well, particularly this subject, true facts, and I sent somebody to investigate to the villages. I had a very deep investigation of this story, but it was not very clear about the end of the toxic waste. So I thought it will be much more powerful to tell it as a fiction, because I didn't want to discuss a specific event. It is a huge subject. It involves Latin America and South Africa and even in Ukraine. I know they are, according to Greenpeace, there are some of these disposal secret places. So that's why I thought it would be much better to do fiction. And also, as this story of a train with a bunch of people there going back and forth in the highlands of Bolivia for 13 days, I thought this is very cinematographic, and I was thinking about the situation of these people being forced in a train to be together. They weren't allowed to get down or to eat or to unload, and that situation appealed me a lot also as a human situation. It's not only social issue, it's about people in a situation where, so that appealed me a lot. As a long-time educator, I made a lot of educational material. I think we are activists. I don't think you can just say, I'm not involved, I'm not an activist. The fact that you are making a movie about a subject, you are already doing some activism, and I hope I am an activist.
Yeah, it would be, I would say, quite the same thing. I think doing a film is already like a political statement and taking but what's important maybe is to say that the social issues are the background of the film, and the film speaks about story of lives of real people, and that's the story, and the background issues are the social issues. It's not a film about social issues, it's a film about lives of people, individual people. And the question was?
You are in danger of being an activist.
No, it's just participating to the debate and giving a point of view that maybe we think is important to be shared with others. And there was another question. The first part of your question was?
Why you document?
First question.
Yeah. Well, I think sometimes with fiction you can get closer to reality than documentary, because you have you have a lot more powerful tools to work with. The idea is not to the fiction and say, well, look, it looks like a documentary. No, it's a fiction film, it's a feature film, but the background, in my case, the background work we did was like a documentary background work. But it's a fiction. We wanted to do a fiction because I think it's a more powerful mean to address people.
Anyone else have any?
I choose fiction because I think that it's more powerful when you get involved with a character to get a very, very particular way of life. And then when you get to this particular thing, you can get to the universal. So that's why I'd rather fiction. And also, the dogs traffic in my movie is not the main part. It's in the background. So I talk about a woman and the difficulty she has to get a place in the society, to get money, to be recognized in the society. And with this dogs traffic in the background, the traffic talk about her life, and it's I don't know how to say, but one is the metaphor of the other, and so on, and that's a particular way of fiction. And about activism, I think it's a kind of activism, but I don't have the answer. I am here to put several questions in the mind of the audience.
Thank you. We can put that question. Yeah.
Could it be that you prefer fiction to a documentary because it sort of skirts the political, you distance yourself from the political pressure? There won't be any political pressure on you. If you have a documentary, I mean, you expose yourself to the government coming down on you.
I think you are exposed anyway, and I agree with most of the people here that fiction is much more powerful because it gets to, directly to people. I don't think it will save me of any political situation. It is a political statement, and it stays a political statement.
I think we can put the question to legal. So you could please ask what was the reason for choosing fiction rather than documentary? And secondly, what was the second part? Yeah, whether it was activism or just narration.
他的问题是，你的电影是哪一个是这方面？一个是 fiction， 一个是 narrative， 是哪一个的？你要说我吗？如果要说我，你可以说我；如果没有，你可以告诉我。
再说一次，不好意思。
这个是所有的人的问题是，如果你要说我，实际说我，你可以说我；如果没有，没有问题。
He says that he doesn't have anything to add to what has been already said. Michael, would you like to say something?
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not a man for political films. I'm more interested in live and die. This is the theme of the film. How can I live when I'm, älter werde? When I'm getting older, it's difficult. It's a very yeah, it's near on a main character telling story and his problems. It had a little bit from me, and it's not explicit in political. I'm not a man for this, I think. I'm interested in emotions. It's also a metal part, you know.
Any more questions? If there are no more questions, I think we will conclude this interaction. So once again, I thank all our guests for and all the best, very best to all of you, and thank you all for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.